Hey, what's up? I've never done this before, so hopefully I get this right. Oh, there we go.
What's up?
What's up? What's going on?
Nothing much. It's so oddly stressful, like trying to wait and time this all out
I know.
because it kind of feels like you're waiting behind the wings and you're like, okay, waiting for that cue line. But
I mean, that's how I signed in and you weren't there, and I don't know how to use this thing, so I was sort of thinking that I was going to do a one-man show for all these people that have no idea who I am.
I
And
would
then I
have
was
tuned in to watch that for sure.
yeah, and then I was just gonna like sing or do a song and sort of see what happens. But oh man, it's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too, man. You look great.
Thank you. You too. I mean, it's a little dark here. I also haven't figured out how to like do the lighting. It's like if I sit here, then oh, that's a little. Is that
That's great lighting.
yeah? I got this like lamp and stuff. I don't know.
I know. I've got you like on a tripod.
Do you
'Cause
really?
yeah, well, usually I use my computer for like Zoom or something, but can I even download Instagram on my desktop?
No, no.
No.
That's the whole thing. Because I was wondering, like, I wish I had a tripod. I'm holding it. I'm like doing a selfie for like an hour.
Oh no.
No, it'll be good. It'll be a good arm workout. So, awesome. All right. All right. So we're good. I got this. I see like comments and stuff are going in, so I don't
Yeah,
need to worry
you
about
got
that.
like 1,300 people in here. That's
There we
awesome.
go.
Thanks,
Good.
guys.
Good. 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 Yes. Hey, I'll do some shout outs. Let's see. Justin Teamo. You
Muy
both have a
bueno. Te
pretty
amo a
smile.
ti.
Well, thank you.
We both have pretty smiles.
Both do.
Oh, Daphne's on from Lightbox.
Daphne?
Yeah, I just
I
saw her
didn't see it.
comment.
Wait, prove it. Daphne, let me see.
Oh, my mom and my sister are on.
Oh, I don't have. Let me see. I haven't seen anybody I recognize yet.
I'm
Let's
just
see.
seeing like a bunch. Keith Sherwood, there you go. Shout out.
You know all these people.
There, Daphne, she keeps posting.
I'm not seeing this. All right, I see Monica. All right, I believe you that Daphne keeps.
She's like literally, she's like, I'm here.
All right, Daphne, I believe you. I believe you. Brandon is not available for a shift, unfortunately.
Man, so yeah, I guess we should just like, so if for anyone tuning in, I know Harley from when I was in college at Rutgers. Like one summer, I ended up going into New York with a couple friends and staying at a friend's apartment, and he worked in catering and was like, "Oh, come and I'll introduce you to Harley." And Harley ran this catering company called Top Notch, and we ended up starting this like beautiful relationship where we catered a bunch of different events, and it ended up going into after college where I worked with you for like I think it was like 3 solid months.
Yeah, it
You
was.
you you made me a manager.
I did. I made you a manager. It was. I remember. I actually have photo. There's photo evidence of the first event you ever did, and it was. It was like a. It was like a multi-million-dollar house on the Upper East Side, and you were like really scared. It was your first day, and you were holding like a tray of glasses, and you were just super nervous. And it was. I was like I don't know if he's gonna make it. I don't know if he's gonna make it in this business, but you exceeded my expectations, and you did big things, and yeah, you were amazing. I was you were absolutely incredible. He's just you could tell he was gonna do such big things. He was good at his job, and I remember the last event you did. I had a feeling I was like it was when you were in final callbacks for 13 Reasons Why, and I remember I was like, I don't think he's gonna. I was like, I have a feeling he's. And then I got a text from you at like I was at a show, and it was intermission. You were like, "Hey, I got it," and I was like, "Oh my god, amazing! Congratulations, amazing! I am so excited for you. I'm gonna take you off the roster." And you were like, "Yeah, I think for now." And I was like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, I was like, I'll be back. I'll be
Yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah. You were like, "Yeah, I'll be back." I was like, yeah, okay, we'll see about that. But
Well, truthfully, I I fucking loved being, I mean, before catering, I was in high school. I always had a restaurant job, and I really loved it. Like, I really, really did like enjoy the interactions, and catering was kind of perfect, especially when I became a manager, because I love controlling stuff.
Yeah.
And I was able to like run the works and then kind of schmooze with everybody. And yeah, man, I had a great time at Top Notch. I
I
really
mean,
enjoyed it.
dude, hey, you want to, you want to come back? I mean, if Daphne, you're seeing us, Daphne. If any events coming up, we're available. Both of
Yeah,
us.
put me on. Put
We'll
me
get behind
on.
the bar. We got nothing else to do. So yeah, that was amazing. We'll talk more about that whole aspect of things, because it was, oh man, it's a lot of fun. But we miss you on the East Coast, and we hope you'll be back in person soon. But just so that everybody knows, we wanted to, I mean, really just as an excuse for us to hang out today and chat. But we're really excited. I started a company about a month ago called Broadway from Home, and it's a really cool organization where it's basically bringing theater and actors and people together. It's a place where kids and pretty soon adults from all across the world in real time are going to be taking, or they are taking, classes in a bunch of different things, from acting for TV and film, to musical theater, to casting director workshops, and we're even doing live shows. And so we've been doing this. I opened it about a month and a half ago with some other people. Tess Primack, I think you are watching this. And so I had this idea. I said, Brandon, would you want to come in and maybe do something? Because you were an actor as a kid, and people love to learn from people they look up to, and people that have gone and done really big things. And just for everybody watching, when Brandon was, this is one of those stories, he didn't have any, like, I'm gonna toot your horn, because like there was no, I mean, I was there for this. I watched the entire process happen, from you graduating college with, you had an agent at the time, but that was it. And it was this crazy thing where it's very rare for an actor to literally, no connections, nothing, just work their ass off and just get there. And again, I don't want to, like, I'm not, you're gonna, you're super modest, you're not gonna say this, but like he was working these shifts, he was learning his lines in between things, and it was amazing to see. And it was something that I always admired, and I saw that he really took it seriously, and he's so good at it. All of you have seen him on TV, and I think a lot of you have probably seen, he was amazing in Kid Victory off Broadway at the Vineyard in New York. But the way that he approaches his work is something that is invaluable, and it's something that I was really hoping he could share with with the kids and actors that are coming to the program. And we talked about it, and so that's sort of where we are. Is he's coming into the Broadway from Home family, and he's going to be teaching a scene study workshop next week, which we're super excited about. And let's just sort of talk a little bit about because even like the other day, you and I were talking about how I said to you, what do you want to teach? What would be fun for you to teach? Because I want it to be something you're passionate about. I don't want it to be, oh, how do I look really, really good on camera? I want it to be something where it's, how do I give my best performance and create characters and do interesting things, and that's sort of where we landed on, and that's what you're passionate about. So do you want to talk a little bit about maybe how you approach your work a little bit, and also what what you're planning on bringing to like an education platform?
Yeah. Damn, I just want to like highlight, because it kind of caught me off guard, and we were talking earlier, like this week has been slightly, like, oddly just a little more emotional than most weeks. And it just hit me like, fuck, like there are people tuning in because they like look up to me, like I do something that they wish they could do, or they hope that they can do, and that's like a really gratifying feeling for all of this, more so than booking work, more so than like getting out there. It's that we can like reciprocate the helping hand over and over and over again. It's cool that I have a platform in order to do that, but like it means the world to be able to do what we're going to do with Broadway from Home, which is essentially all I'm going to be doing is stepping in there and like showing people what was showed to me, like in school, in the business. I'm a big believer in mentorship. So like just constantly learning is really helpful and humbling too, to realize there's so much more to learn. There's so many more places to go, and in all affairs in life, I think. But so yeah, I just got like a big smack of like gratitude, and that's a cool feeling to feel on a Thursday.
I mean, you earned every ounce of it. So.
But yeah, so I'm super excited to like step into this family and be able to like, I'm not sure who is involved yet, but I know there's a few students, and we'll be doing like a Zoom scene study sort of class. So essentially, like, it's a great reminder for me to be like, hey, that next audition, make sure you do all this shit.
Yeah.
But also it's cool to be able to share like the importance of how a scene donates to the rest of the story, and how really through scene work you start to understand a character's intentions and their actions, that really like each action is what like drives the character in the play or the script. And hopefully, I mean, if it's a kind of script I like a script kind of, it encapsulates the most important time for this person, or these group of people. I like that sentiment. It gets me in a headspace of like, it's not just an average day, even though you do see that often in scripts. But I think it's really about like what separates this night from all the others, like
a little throwback to Passover.
Yeah, a little throwback to Passover, but also like what separates this moment in this person's life from the ease and grace of their everyday. And when you start to delve into the scene, I think that shit starts to unlock. Like you start to see who the character is by what they do. You start to see relationships and how indicative and important they are at highlighting how people act with each other, Like, for instance, you and I, if you fired me, this conversation would be so different.
It would probably wouldn't be having it. You probably wouldn't like me very much.
I'd be like, Harley is blacklisted.
Yeah, he fired me.
Not even, but it essentially like those are really the things I want to tap into in these classes. And I think we have like a game plan for how we'll look, and I'm excited because I think it's a simple base level that can like highlight such fascinating and important easy ways into work, which for me, when you're working, especially like when it comes to like working on set, sometimes you're getting rewrites the night before, and it's like, okay, shit, I gotta make this happen. There's no like I'm sick, I need like 2 more days to understand what the hell's going on. So an easy way in to like get into the character, get into the story, and attack it that way is invaluable for working at a degree and a level that you want to be working at, but also at a speed that's demanded from us a lot of the times, which is easy to like get on your back foot and go, this is unfair. But there's also ways to get on your front foot and be like, let's go for it. This is what I do. This is why I'm here. And I think like being able to come from a set, come from doing stage work, and share that with people who are aspiring or who are working is just an an acknowledgement and a nod to like that is what's also a big part of this industry is all the helping hands that come at you all the time. And I'm grateful I get to be a helping hand reaching out and probably get like tenfold hands back by teaching. I think, you know, you always hear that sentiment of like, oh yeah, like I learned so much from my students. But it's true, like you really do just grow, especially when you get in a room and you're just like shooting the shit and talking and throwing ideas out with people who love to do what you love to do.
No, absolutely. And I mean, to what you said, it is really true. Is, you know, I feel really lucky right now because, you know, we're doing this Broadway from Home platform, and I'm working with kids, you know, for 20 hours a week on this. And, you know, when you're out in the field auditioning and then you come back and you're working with a young actor and you're sort of going over a scene, you start seeing things that you're like, oh my, I wouldn't have seen this if I was an actor. And I'm just, you know, it even helps for your own acting and your own sort of experiences, just to sort of go through those motions, because sometimes, you know, and I think it's important to know that, you know, I mean, with all the success that you had, I'm sure that you're still being like, you know, I'm learning new things all the time. I'm learning from the other people on set. I'm learning from, you know, every time you watch a movie or a TV show. And I think that it's important for people to remember. I had a phone call the other day with an actor, and we were talking about this, and, you know, he's had a lot of pretty big success. And he was like, you know, even after you book a movie, you know, the next thing is you got to work for it. You know, you have to be there. And I think that everything you're talking about with, you know, being present in the scene and really sort of unwrapping it, it's something that you have to do each time. And it's you know, and I remember when you were going on these auditions and doing this, you know, I would talk to you because you, even before 13 Reasons Why came up, like, again, you're not going to agree with me on this because you're very modest, but you were doing very well. You were booking things. You were, you know, I told you the other day, I was like, I remember you booked Romeo and Juliet and you had to turn it down and all these things. And you were doing really well with this stuff. And I remember you had said to me, it was all about the script. It was like, it was breaking it down. You were doing it in a way that was a little bit different. It was finding different things, because I think as actors, you know, in order to stand out, in order to really make positive choices and things, is you need to take risks, and you need to say, okay, well, this is an interesting thing I'm going to do with this character. What is this text telling me? And what are they, you know, what are the stage directions saying about his feelings? And I mean, you and I could talk about this for hours, and it sounds crazy, but it's so important. And I think, you know, especially for like a young actor to be able to sort of get in on this and experience it, it's something that they can put in their, you know, metaphorical toolkit, you know, and take to them on future auditions and experiences and classes. And I think that, you know, this platform also really lends itself well to working with you right now, because it is a very intimate experience. You know, I mean, uh, it's such a weird time that we're in, but we're also, I mean, we're doing so much more of this up close and personal stuff. And I was saying to you on the phone today when we were talking earlier, you know, watching the students at Broadway from Home doing their work, it's people are so much more willing to take risks and be out of their comfort zone, because oddly enough, we're in the comfort of, you know, our surroundings. And whether or not that's very comfortable right now, because again, it's an uncertain time, it definitely changes the way that we're reacting to each other. And I'm seeing just a lot of growth from, you know, from our students. And, you know, I know that they're just super excited to learn some things from you and, you know, sort of dive in deeper from that. And we'll talk more about this today, but for people listening, you can go to bewayfromhome.com. In the booking section, there's a really lovely photo of Brandon from some sort of red carpet thing. You can read more about his class on that. There's also a bunch of other classes. You know, we're doing a lot of interesting things there. So we're super excited about that, and we'll get more to that in a little bit. I wanna sort of like talk to you a little more just about like the early days, the little throwback to, you know, Brandon Flynn as a little boy. So let's just start pretty basic. You know, where were you born? Where'd you grow up?
I was born and raised till the age of 18 in Miami, in Florida. Um, it's a very special place to grow up, but yeah, I've spent the majority of my youth there.
And what what was the like early days of, were you into acting as a little kid? Were you into sports? What was your like first memory of, seeing something? I remember for me it was, I was always a sports kid, but then I watched Home Alone with Macaulay Culkin, and
Yeah.
I looked at that. I was like, no, I want to. That's yep, I want to do that. Like, what was it for you?
Um, yeah, I think, I mean, I share a similar experience with a lot of kids. I feel that as a young kid, I was really chunky and really like confused as to what the hell I wanted to do. My parents, at sometimes I'm like, it's amazing what they did, and then at sometimes I'm like, was that right? I don't know. But it was a lot of like, we'll try this thing out for a year. That was like baseball and different stuff. Like, try it out for a year and see if you like it. And I definitely learned I hated sports. I did not fit in sports. I hated it. I'm overly analytical to the point where, like, when I would be getting the MVP award, because I was like, Coach, you just give everyone the MVP award. Like, I just got it because it's my turn in the line. And he was like, yep, because you're not good. And it was just, I was an awkward kid, awkward. And then it was time for middle school. So I was about 12 or 13. And before that, I was in a production of Peter Pan in the 5th grade that I didn't want to do, but actually ended up loving it. Never memorized the lines, had the hiccups on the night of the performance, and the teacher, I think, pulled my parents aside and was like, you should put him in drama in middle school. And so that's what my parents, that was the new, like, we'll try this out for a year. And I kicked and screamed. I was like, everyone's gonna think I'm gay, and little did I know. But it like, I ended up like just shining in it, and for myself, like it wasn't really about the validation. Something later on I'd have to figure out for myself, like, am I still doing this because I want the accolades and the validation? But then I remember that feeling of like when I first started out in this, how good it felt to like sit at the computer and write a bunch of scenes for everybody to like work on and do, and I kind of just got lost in the beauty of what acting could be and what it was serving for a young kid who really needed an outlet. And then it came time for high school, and I knew my mom just said, you were and are a star. I love you, Mom. But there was this special high school in Miami called New World School of the Arts, and it was like a magnet school for the arts. So you had to audition for it, and it had different programs: acting, singing, music, visual art. And I auditioned and I got in, and I ended up going there, and it was like this massive preamble to college, where I was really learning, and this probably like starts to bore people, but I was really learning about what the fucking craft of acting was, and that there was even a craft. And my analytical brain like started kicking in, and I was like, great, I have something else to latch onto. So like my left and right side of the brain were just like loving it, and it just made sense to go to college for it. And I'm kind of lucky. I feel lucky that I wasn't racing to become known, or my parents weren't racing to like push me out into the big bad world of the industry, but that I took like 8 solid years to really like figure out how to act, how to take that kid who was really finding this place to like put all of his emotions in. Some kids like sports, they can whack the fucking ball. I loved acting. I loved those scenes where I'm sitting there like, God, you drama, and now I understand like how to make that real and how to make it human. And I understand the technique that's like boiling under the surface. So when I watch movies and when I go see theater, I'm like watching the technique of actors, and I know what it is. Well, hopefully you don't see the technique, because I think that's a
Yeah,
big
yeah, the point. Yeah.
the technique. But you know when it's good and you like it, there's a shit ton of technique going into it. And it was cool that at such a young age in high school, I was understanding that. Yeah, and then I went to Rutgers College, and you know, for anyone who doesn't know, there are certain styles of acting, and Rutgers was really like steeped in the Meisner technique, and that kind of changed my whole game. And so from going to like a sixth grader to doing like, you know, public school productions of The Lottery and The Odd Couple, I all of a sudden was in college doing Shakespeare and understanding the depth and like what actually goes into all the stuff I hope to like dictate in the class, which is a relationship and a character and a pace to a story, to telling a story, and making it believable. And under, you know, because that's kind of what acting is to me now, is like imaginary circumstances becoming believable. So
Yeah.
I hope that answers the question.
No, that and more and more. Yeah, no, I think a lot of actors can sort of resonate with that. What I want to do is I have a lot of other things to go through with this. I want to break it up with a few questions from people, then go back into this and sort of take questions in and out. So let me go to a couple of things here. I got a lot of questions. How do we sign up for Brandon's class? So it's bewayfromhome.com. And you can sign up for Brandon's class right in the booking section. And
I'll post that on my story too.
Yeah.
Bewayfromhome.com, and you can post up instructions so that they can see it.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So let's see. We've got this question is from Aunt KICC. How are you guys coping with quarantine? That's a good question. I was going to ask you actually, Brandon. Tell me like a typical day in the life right now.
A typical day is, what I'm trying to do to shift quarantine is like each day for my mentality has to be a little different than the other day.
Yeah.
So there's a strong focus on to-do lists to keep me accountable for like getting things done. And I do keep some routine. So like my daily routine starts in the morning. I make my bed and I meditate. And that's the first thing I do. I do start a pot of coffee while I'm doing that, because that has to be. But make my bed and meditate, just because I think that adds some mental order into my life. But also in my house, like I can see I have a made bed. And my mind's made as well. Like I've got into this meditative state where I'm ready and open and accepting for whatever's going to come my way, whether it be feelings, whether it be phone calls that I wasn't expecting, or anything. That way I'm not pacing back and forth being like, what, because I can easily get that way. I keep in touch with people throughout the day. Like that's just a big part of my day. FaceTiming a lot. Because it's important. I for one am living alone with my dog, and it's not been so bad because I've been really connected with people, and I'm finding like the conversations going on are so vastly different from each other, but also have a depth that when you go out to eat with someone, you know, it's timed, and you're like. And I find myself like on the phone for like 3 hours, like, wow, I could do this all day. But I think, you know, adding in just, I have a daily like conscious effort to like add in doing something for my body, workouts, doing something for my brain, reading something, meditating, and doing something for my spirit, which usually involves taking a nice long walk where I can just, I leave my phone at home, I leave the devices at home, it's just me and my dog. And you know, it's a really tricky time because so much bad is happening. But I'm trying to accept like where I'm at is I have the ability to like bring in gratitude every day. I'm grateful to have a roof over my head. I'm grateful that I have food. I'm grateful that we live in a country where like we have so many devoted nurses and doctors and medical practitioners who are like ready and available to like combat this disease and combat the political nonsense that also is taking place. But we also have to look out for ourselves, and it's a tricky time to be alone and what that entails. And you know, I kind of put in some thought into like what I can take from this into the outside world.
Yeah.
When this all kind of alleviates, and a lot of that is just some patience and some acceptance for where you are, being fucking present. And being fucking present is a game changer. You know, future tripping, stop dealing with all your past stuff, but just be present. And you find that it's a lot easier to grasp all those crazy what ifs and what will come. It's just day by day.
No, I mean, that's really important. I've been busy with putting this Broadway from Home together, and I find myself busier than I've been in a really long time. So I've been fortunate for that, but I'm trying to get outside as safe as possible, and like you said, connecting with people, and just trying to help as many people as possible. With Broadway from Home, that definitely helps a lot with bringing a lot of kids together and them making friends. And we've been fortunate enough to employ a lot of out of work actors and people like that, and even from Top Notch, there's some people who are working. So that's been good. And but I think you're right. I think it's just staying connected, and I think it's important for everybody to remember that we will get through this. We don't know when, but we're gonna do it, and we're gonna come out stronger afterwards. So just keep doing your best, and whatever you need to do to make it work for you. And I think it's important. So those are good words to live by. All right, let's see. Can you say when the next? I don't. Are you allowed to say when the next season's coming out or something? I don't. How do you?
No, I'm not allowed to say.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Bunch of goons always trying to trick me and catch me.
Yeah.
It's coming out this year.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rules are, so let's see. A lot of quarantine questions. It's really kind of you guys. I mean, there's a lot of like, why are you so cute? So, I mean, do you want to answer that? I don't know.
I mean, should we drag my mom and dad into this conversation?
I guess
like,
let's get them in there.
They look great for their age, and my family's got good genes. I'm happy for that. Yeah. I got a lot of gratitude for that.
There you go.
Otherwise, there's no explanation. I have a skincare routine, but I don't really want to be one of those who shares it.
Perfect. That's perfect. All right, let's see. Let me get a couple more, and we'll come back to some of these too. Somebody said, what are you guys talking about? Well, what we're talking about is Broadway from Home and teaching and acting and how amazing Brandon is and that. Oh, I guess this question was from 23 minutes ago, so maybe she didn't hear after that.
Oh, I just saw a good question that how old do you have to be?
Oh, good. Where are you seeing? So again, this is my first time on this thing. Are you looking at that question mark with questions, or are you looking at like the people writing things?
I'm just looking at the people.
Oh, writing. I see. I just saw. I'm from England. Can I take part in the class? Absolutely. Oh, age range for the classes: 8 to 18. Or sorry, for Brandon's class, it's 12 to 22. When are you? Okay. Oh, okay. This is much easier. Oh, I wish somebody told me about this.
I don't even know what you're talking about. You probably can only see that because you're in charge. I literally feel like I'm 50 years old when I'm doing this because
you got lots of love from India. Hey, Brandon, smiley face heart. I want to be a director. Any tips?
Um, Me too. Um, I think tips are, again, like I mentioned it kind of earlier on in the conversation, like mentorship is really important in any job you do. Like I look at people who like to cook. The most beneficial thing for them is finding someone who loves to cook and absorbing what they know. Absorbing knowledge is always going to help you in any field, in any endeavor. Um, and seeking it, actively seeking it. I think living a life of action is possible, but also so applaudable and ends up and comes back to you in a rewarding way. So when you're actively searching for how, um, I think you find it, and I think you find a journey within whatever you're trying to. I mean, I get so wax on, wax off easily, but it's true. You find a journey and you find a path that really works for you. And I think it's important to like acknowledge what that path can look like. Anything like that path doesn't mean you're directing a Marvel movie. It means you're directing anything and everything. Music videos, you're directing short scenes with your friends. I think, and I'm discovering, I'm taking an online class now, not about directing, but there's so many courses online for free and for an affordable price too, that are able to give you tips and tricks. No one's going to make it for you. So I think absorbing knowledge, going online, finding the right books is helpful. I mean, an easy way I think for directors, aspiring directors, is start off simple. Like start off going through every director you like, going through their entire work and figuring out where they are in a movie or in a show, figuring out where the director is, and then you start to highlight your own beliefs, your own system. But doing is important.
Absolutely. Somebody asked, what can they expect from your class? If you want to give like a, not like a, because if you go on the website you can see, but just like a little elevator pitch. What can they expect if they take your class?
To be graded really harshly. No, you can expect to have good one-on-one time with me, as in terms of in being in a pair for a scene. Simple material that together we'll be able to really delve into and like highlight the importance of a scene in a larger picture.
Yeah.
I think that pretty, like, without giving it all away. I think
Yeah. You got to take the class.
Yeah.
So somebody asked, how did you get involved with Broadway from Home, and can you take it from everywhere, and is there a max capacity for the class? Do you want to? Oh, so I'll answer. So the capacity for this class, guys, it's 20, like in-person people. So we do realize that that's going to sell out very quickly. So we'll be doing more of those, but we'll also have an option, if you join our mailing list, to moderate the class and monitor it, so you can sort of watch what's happening, but maybe not participate in it. And then yes, you can be. The other question was, can you take it if you're from anywhere? Broadway from Home is a global platform. So right now we have kids from South Africa, from China, from France, the UK, all parts of the United States, Canada, Argentina. All of those kids are currently in class together, and that's a really cool thing too, is that they're working together in these small groups, in their classes, and then with you next week, and they could be from anywhere in the world. And the cool thing about it, it's really connecting a lot of people, and people are becoming fast friends on the platform, which has been really really interesting. So yeah. Okay, let's see. All right, here's an interesting one. What's the biggest difference you've seen with your life pre 13 Reasons Why versus post? It's a tough one, right?
Yeah. Um, there are so many differences. Um, you know, I'm only 26, so like, I mean, one of the biggest differences is it's allowed me to be like a lot more independent. But I think sometimes it's really important for me to focus on the similarities, because that's where the growth is as well. Like where you can really, going back to being constantly active in doing something. Um, I'm still insecure. I'm still a like belligerent perfectionist where I never feel satisfied. Um, I still am that kid who wants to fit in. Like those things haven't changed, and those things are, I think, also what keeps me humble and still full of depth and full of humanity. Um, a big difference is like, so when Harley, when we first met, like I really was like, those days were crazy. Like I was living in New York and I was audition, like I would have like 3 auditions sometimes at a day, and I would have a suitcase with me full of different looks for auditions and full of my top-notch gear, which was usually like a black suit. And I would carry around this suitcase going from audition to audition, constantly like preparing for the next day whilst going, and then going and working an event at night. And I was working my ass off. And like now, sometimes to my benefit and sometimes to my demise, I do have that thing where like which also brings me back, quarantine somewhat feels a little normal, because when I'm in between jobs, I'm usually tuckered out and I get like a couple weeks of nothingness. And I have the time to like sit and read a book and not feel like I have like to be hitting the pavement, or like it's become a choice. The choices are now a luxury in my head versus like um, make or break me. You know,
Yeah.
which is really nice. That is honestly, I'm fucking grateful for that. And that could change tomorrow. It could change anytime. So it's something I make sure I know that it's important and take advantage of.
That's yeah, no, that's important. Somebody asked, do you want to go back on stage soon?
Yes, yes. It worries me to think about what the possibilities of that look like right now, um, because of the virus and because of social distancing. It's hard to imagine like theaters being ready and geared up to open because you're in such close proximity.
Yeah.
But holy shit, man! Like I do love working on TV, and I love filming. But live theater is like, I mean, Harley, you know, like even seeing it, there's just this experience that you don't. It sticks with you. Like it sticks whether you want it or not. Like it sticks with you because you just had this whole crazy experience with people standing on a stage. There's no glass screen in between you. There's no like other reality that you're perceiving. It's literally that's what's happening. And sometimes it's just mind blowing what's possible on stage. And it's a different, like you're still doing the same thing. You're still, the acting muscle is still the same, but there's that added experience of like, if you, getting back to wax on, wax off, if you think of your body, like your physical body having a spiritual body, you're doing this with your acting partner physically, but then spiritually, like the audience is over here, your whole spiritual body is doing that to them. And like that's something that it feels like you're on a shit ton of drugs sometimes and you don't have to take any, and it's like a really rewarding feeling. And seeing an audience reception is so cool. It's
No,
so
and
cool.
and that's, it's funny you say that because you know, there is that feeling of, I mean, you know the feeling when you're backstage and you're about to, you know, come out for your first sort of entrance, and it's literally, it's the most exciting and butterfly-inducing experience you can ever have. And the funny thing is, like right now, you know, when we do our classes every day, it's like a little mini performance for me. So I feel like I wake up and I come into my office, I put on my headset, and I like open up these, because the way that we do our classes is there's like a waiting room, and it's really it's like a play. I'm with my like other instructors, and we're like talking about the game plan for the day, and the clock strikes like the minute on the hour, and I say, all right guys, I got to open the door, and it's like opening the curtain and it's starting, and you get that rush, and then their faces start coming on the screen, and then, you know, you're off, and it's really like it's a lot of adrenaline. It's so strange how that even does, like, Brandon, what we're going to have to do is, and Brandon and I talked about this, is we're going to get some of our other like acting friends from LA and New York, and we're going to start doing some like live readings and things like that of like fun stuff, all like really, you know, cool things, you know, so that you guys can start watching them. But like, I'll tell you, like when you're doing that, and I know you've done a couple of live things already, but those feelings are still there. So, it's definitely, you know, it doesn't, you can't take you can take the stage away, but you can't take the theater out of the kid or something.
No. And I hope this stage is always there, and I'm always there for it. So like, to answer that question, like, hell yes, the minute we're able to, like, my team and I talk about it all the time. Yeah. It's like it's always in the cards, you know. It's it's great.
Yeah,
theater's great if you get the chance. Like, I know like a lot of companies are doing live putting out live recordings of the shows that have been done on Broadway and stuff like that. And if you get a chance, like, you should just check it out, to anybody watching, because it's special. Totally. It's really special. Yeah.
No, absolutely. All right, I'm going to go to some other some sort of fun questions here. Let's see. Actually, you know what? Before I get into some more, actually no, I'm gonna go with some funny things, and then we'll get a little deeper. Okay, all right. So I love nostalgia, and like, you know, I don't know. Especially like right now, it's comforting. Like Disney Plus is like my jam at the moment. All those like old Disney Channel movies, you watch those, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So favorite Disney Channel original movie?
Disney Channel original movie. Wow, the first one that comes to my head is Smart House.
Oh yes! Oh my God, that's so good. I
really hope it was Disney Channel, but yeah, it was. No, right?
It is. Yeah. That's it. That your answer could not be better. Okay, excellent. All right, favorite. What did you want to be when you grew up? When you grew up as a kid?
It changed a couple of times. I wanted to be an archaeologist at one point. I think I wanted to be a veterinarian at one point. And then acting came, and it was like, that's what I want to do. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no backup plan. It's acting.
Yeah. We just got, let's see, Monica out there said Luck of the Irish. Oh, I love Luck of, did you see Luck of the Irish, the Disney Channel original movie?
Where he turns it.
Yeah, he turns into a leprechaun.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep. Oh, Brendan, we could also do a whole live stream just about our favorite Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes, but we don't have all day. So, I mean, that's a whole separate conversation.
It really is.
Favorite Netflix binge junk food eating thing. What do you watch? What do you eat when you watch?
What do I eat when I watch? Well, shit. I'm not a big eater. But I'm a vegan, so this answer is so not satisfying.
Is it just like a piece of broccoli, or what is it?
Yeah, I'm just chewing on vegetables.
Like raw broccoli?
It's usually, if I can have like sweet granola with like some vegan chocolate in it, I'm into that. Like while I watch something, or even popcorn. You know, I have popcorn and I put nutritional yeast on it. It's pretty good.
Wow, that's fancy. Do you make your own? You make your own popcorn?
Yeah.
With the pan and the top, yeah.
Yeah, and you just shake it.
That's what I've been obsessed with that. I've been doing. You know what I did? I started making, for anybody out there, if you love kettle corn, you can make your own. It's very easy.
Is
Very
it?
easy.
What, you just put sugar in it?
So yeah,
Like,
you do coconut oil with a little bit of sugar, and it's like going to a carnival. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
see, I'm gonna make that tonight
You
now.
should. And then you put a little salt on it, you know, if that's vegan. I don't know if it is, but
Salt's vegan.
I don't know. I don't know. Just in case. You could get some vegan salt. Who knows? All right. Let's see. If you could talk in your sleep, what would you say?
What would I say if I could talk in my sleep? I wish that you know what would be super cool if in my sleep I was like an incredible singer,
Okay.
but like not in real life. Like in real life I couldn't hit a tune, but in my sleep I was like an outstanding singer. I don't know if I'd say anything special.
Well, the funny thing about that is, so for those of you who don't know, when Brandon did a show called Kid Victory, it was an amazingly beautiful show, and he was unbelievable in it. The thing is, it's a musical, and so when he got the part, I was like, I didn't know you sang, because he's literally the star of a musical. I said, I didn't know you sang. He's like, no, I don't sing. And I was like, oh, they're teaching you how to sing. He's like, no, this is a musical where the lead role doesn't sing. And I was
I
like,
lucked out.
what? What are you talking? And I went to the show because I was like, you know what? I'm sure he's exaggerating. There's probably like a line. No, he doesn't sing. It's like they wrote that for you, or they like took out the singing for you or something. But I mean, we'll get you singing. You'll take a Broadway from Home class. You'll learn how to sing.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's a great idea, actually.
Do it. Let's do singing with Brandon next week. It'll be
someone's teaching me how to sing.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. Well, if we want to do like a half off class, it could be Brandon Flynn teaches singing.
Yeah.
We could do that. All right. What TV sitcom family would you be a member of?
Ooh. Wow. Oh, well, Will and Grace. Like, I would love to be a part of that world.
Will?
Would I be Will's family?
Like who in Will and Grace would you be? Like, oh, you'd be like part of their family?
Oh, yeah, I just figured. Oh, so it's like replacing.
No, it's not replacing. That's a good point. It's Brandon Flynn is like in that, you know, like Brandon Flynn is a member of the Brady Bunch, or, you know.
Yeah.
You don't have to replace a character.
Will and Grace, I think.
Okay. All right.
That'd be fun.
That's good. If you had access to a time machine, what year would you go back to? And it doesn't have to be a year that you have been alive in.
Huh. Well, like, history hasn't been great, has it?
Not really.
I guess the more satisfying answer would be a point in history, because who knows what the hell the future brings. But I guess like some point in the 1960s, you know, like I'd really would have loved to have been a part of like all the uprise in music and the shift that sort of happened in like what the 50s sort of brought with like the mentality of what America looks like and what society looks like. And then the 60s so abruptly, like by the end of the 60s, you're like, nah, that stuff doesn't work. Let's have a big party and like let's just love let's just love each other. Like I kind of, the idea is there, you know. So I'd love to see what that looks like.
Yeah, it was the free love decade. All right, so I guess an interesting question to that is, ideal role, like time period, like what, you know, like what if you could get a script that was like, this is the year, like, you know, as Brandon Flynn right now, what would you want to play? What time period? Would it be 60s or would it be something else?
I think it'd be something else. Although I really do like the 60s. It's just we see it so much of it all the time. But I do love like way like very far back historical. Like I would love to see what it looked like in like 17 something. Like
wow. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I would
wow.
love that shit. Like wooden teeth and everything. Like,
oh, wow. That's, yeah. I mean, 1700s.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, let's do it. We'll
write something.
Let's do it. Cool. All right. So let's I, I want to talk to you just a brief, but we have a few minutes. What advice do you have for for like a young actor out there who's, maybe I don't know, 13, 14 years old, and what's something that you would tell them if you could go back and sort of tell yourself this, what would it be?
I guess never take anything, never take any of it for granted. Um, that at the end of the day, it's still a job that you have room to grow and excel in. And I mean, I think the first few years that I was like started working on TV, like there was a big part of me that was like doing it for the accolades. And I'm now trying to like reroute my brain and like my heart in it, because it's so much more satisfying when we're doing it for the work of it.
Mm-hmm.
And for the real blessing of like that this is actually a job. Like we get to go make believe every day that we choose to work. Like and I think sometimes awards and accolades kind of taint that, like why we're doing it. They push you in a way that's like you should really be pushing yourself, you know?
Yeah.
And there's so much possibility with what work looks like when you are an actor. Like it's kind of endless.
Absolutely.
And that dream as big as you want to. Dream as big as you want to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you were 14, did you have any, could you believe what would happen? I mean,
Yeah, like yes and no. I think like I was just like I'm gonna be somebody, something. And those are really big thoughts, you know, but also and even now I'm like I still have that thing of like I'm not satisfied. I want to do more, and that kind of takes different shapes day to day. Like, you know, hopefully one day I have a production company where I can be helping other people imagine their work and being a part of that, and stuff. Like it's not so much self-serving anymore as I think when I'm 14. Like that was what I was able to grasp, was like I'm gonna be something, I'm gonna leave town, and I'm gonna
yeah.
make it big. I didn't imagine it would happen so quickly, and I thought I'd be more prepared. In my dreams, I was
Yeah.
always like, yeah, he's prepared, he knows how to handle all of this, and I don't. And I don't know if anyone ever does. But it's fucking fun, man. It's
Yeah.
fun. And yeah.
No, well, I'm supremely proud of you, and I think that it's not surprising how fast it did happen. So and I'm just so excited to do more with you. So it looks like we have a minute left, so I'm gonna just say a couple of more things just to remind people where to go to sign up for Brandon's class and for more Broadway from Home workshops. It's bwaymfromhome.com, guys. You can go on there. You can sign up for Brandon's workshop. There's some other workshops on there as well. You can find all the information there. He'll put it in his story or bio or something. I'm still getting the Instagram lingo, and we'll definitely we'll try to do some more of these. We'll try to do some more with Brandon, and we're just super excited to have you, and we're grateful for the opportunity to talk to you. And thank you guys out there for tuning in. We have 16 seconds, so Brandon, if you want to sign off before they kick us off, go for it.
Yeah, I'm just super happy that you guys all joined in for this conversation. Harley, I fucking love you, man. Like what a good hour to spend.